My name is Jesse Sapolu. Played for the San Francisco 49ers from 1983 to 1998, so about 15 years. Played offensive line, offensive guard and center. Was a Pro Bowler at both positions. Was able to be lucky enough to win 4 Super Bowls. With the data that I'm aware of now and the understanding that we have now, I did have, concussions. But, back then, it's how fast you can identify 2 fingers, compared to 4 fingers. And it was called your bell got rung. No official concussions, but now with what I understand and what I learned, I've had a few. Even as far back as high school, I got stunned a couple times. So I've really played a total of 26 years in this game. And, I'm just happy to participate in this treatment. And I found out in the last, I would say 10 years that I'm very anxious. I get jumpy, even riding in cars and somebody not driving the way I want them to drive. I find myself getting to the point of being on the edge, of being angry, and so there's a lot of anxious moments. Anxiety is something that I don't enjoy, and I think a lot of people think that comes with age, but I think it's a little bit, there's a lot more than that in my situation because of what I did for a living. I've noticed a big difference coming to this treatment, being patient with kids. Part of what I do is public speaking, and I notice that I lose my train of thought just sitting thinking about things. And, sometimes I've spoken in front of 10,000 people. And I think, this treatment has helped me with confidence of going out there and do what I do. Fatigue and being tired, especially during the afternoon, has improved for me. In the beginning, I looked at it as maybe I'm depressed because I'm retired from the game. But I noticed that, you're just physically and emotionally and mentally tired during certain times of the day, and that has improved since I've come to this treatment. Sometimes your significant other, would say, why are you jumpy here, why are you not as patient here compared to what you used to be? So you don't say nothing back, but you kind of lose your confidence. You're thinking, okay, I played this game, I love the game, but maybe I'm starting to pay the price for it now. And that worries you. But coming to this treatment has given me some of that confidence back. I coach kids, but I'm one of the most patient coaches out there now. So, and I've always been that way because of my personality. But I didn't like the fact that I was losing that calmness. But I'm starting to get it back. Well, I think HPN, for me personally, first and foremost, is good for my colleagues that are retired NFL players. I think we definitely need, HPN with the retired players. But it's also college football players. I have kids that play college football. And now that I've been removed from the game, I go watch the practice and I hear that thump with the 2 metal helmets going up against each other. You didn't know how bad of what you were doing until you're removed from the game, and now you're watching it as a parent. High school and Pop Warner, if this can help them at an early age as a prevention or to help them, because they suffer concussions at that age, I think this is a great thing. If you look at football now, the number one thing that they're trying to protect from the safety standpoint is not your shoulders, it's not tearing up a knee. The NFL is worried about protecting your brain. And this treatment here is going to help that a lot. It's very simple. To me, it's not painful enough, but it's very simple and easy. It's an investment of 15 minutes of your time to try to help, restore as much as you can of the brain that you put, at risk playing this game. Some of our players are bringing their kids. So you don't do that unless you truly have a belief that it's making a difference in you. And to me, that's evidence enough.
Okay, I'm Kermit Alexander, and I'm a 14-year NFL veteran player. This is my lovely wife, Tammy, who is helping me raise 5 children that we adopted that are from Haiti. I was a defensive back, both safety and cornerback at different times, and I was also a kick return specialist. Punt returns and kickoff returns.
Kermit was hit so hard one time he didn't wake up until Tuesday when they were going over the game films. He was hit in a game so hard that it knocked him out, and cognitively he wasn't even there until 2 days later. He woke up during the film and said, when do we go back in the game?
Well, the thing that I noticed was, I view it as clarity. I'd wake up in the morning and things were clear. Well, for a long time I was not very clear. Up until recently I wasn't very clear. I'd wake up and I'd kind of stumble around, and it'd take me 2 or 3 hours to get together. Now I'm getting closer to where I felt normal, where I'd wake up and I'd be clear. I could understand where I was. I figured out what I was going to do, and I could remember decisions I'd made the day before or the week before. I'm having difficulty doing that. I'm just starting to get some of it back with the treatment I've been getting, so that's encouraging, but I'm not back to where I was when I considered myself normal. I'm 50% better. I was at one point probably 4 or 5%. Now I'm about 50%.
When I became aware was probably about 24 months ago, where I actually started realizing that there was a significant problem or something was amiss. Later on it started getting to, I don't know what child I have in the car. I don't know who I dropped off at school. I don't know what their bell schedule is. And to a mom and a wife, that started setting up some red flags, to where I actually reached out and asked his family to confer with me. Does anybody have this in the family? And there isn't. So I was ruling out hereditary dementia, and knowing that, he played actually 14 years, but a player actually plays more like 30 years. I've actually reached out to the 49ers for some help. Situations was he could not find his way home when he was driving. Places that he'd been to all of his life. LA, he knows the LA area real well, and yet he was having trouble navigating himself home. A dear friend of his passed away for the 49ers, and I had gotten him a plane ticket to leave at our nearby airport in Ontario. He actually showed up to LA airport. I booked him another flight out of Ontario so that he could catch it to make the funeral, and he missed the second flight as well, just from being disoriented, fatigued, didn't know exactly where he was. There were several times that he'd get up in the middle of the night and couldn't navigate where the door or the closet, so we had to start using a nightlight. Since starting treatment, he has not had any type of disorientation at night. He didn't wake up and not know exactly where he was, or he wasn't familiar with something. So that is one area I've seen a significant improvement.
It's not only embarrassing, but it's also a situation where I have to adjust to where I am and get my ego out of it. Prior to getting treatment, I had difficulty asking for help. Before HPN, I was angry with myself because I didn't remember the way I used to remember. And I took issue with that, and it was a constant irritation. Now I understand what is happening, and I understand that there's a possibility of curing it, or at least lessening it. So it gives me an opportunity to relax and just enjoy what I have. I'm closer to normal than I was 10 years ago. And I realize that, and I know there's a way to help me, and so I'm comfortable in that.